Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Minnesota State Capitol. There are some people that refer to this building as the People's House, and because this is the house where the people come to talk to their elected representatives about passing laws that are good for Minnesota. My name is MJ Bauer. I'm the Executive Director for Decoding Dyslexia, and we are a nonprofit that helps struggling readers and their families. I am proud to say that this is the 10th rally that we have been at, and we are so excited about that. Decoding Dyslexia is here today with other like-minded organizations to ask our representatives to pass laws to help kids learn to read. And our elected officials have done a terrific job of passing laws to help kids learn to read. And we want to thank our elected officials for all the work they did in 2023 and 2024 to pass the READ Act. So let's have a hand of applause. We're going to thank our elected officials. Yeah! So, for some kids, it's easy to read. They learn the letters and the sounds and the words, and they love to read out loud. But for some kids, learning to read is really hard. And those are the kids that need a special kind of instruction. They need systematic and explicit instruction using structured literacy based on the science of reading. All of us are here today to ask our elected representatives to keep moving forward. Yeah, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward on the critical work of the READ Act, because 50% of Minnesota's children can't read at grade level, and we need to do better. Yes. Do you kids know why reading is important? Who knows why reading is important? Does anybody have a banner? A little banner? Can you tell me what it says on that banner? What does it say on that banner? It says, "Today a reader, tomorrow a leader." Who can say that? Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. One more time, as loud as you can. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. That's right. Today a leader, tomorrow a leader. And we want to thank our representatives for doing the good work that they're doing. All of you guys are fantastic. Big round of applause. So next, we're going to hear from some people who are going to tell you their personal stories. We're going to hear from students who struggle to read. We're going to hear from parents who struggle to help their students. We're going to hear from teachers who have learned a brand new way to teach reading. They actually teach the brain to read. And then we're going to hear from a bunch of legislators, and they're going to talk about the hard work that they have to do between now and the end of the session to get a budget to continue to support schools and teachers and students to help everybody learn to read. So our first student speaker is going to come up right now, and Maccabee. Do we have Maccabee? Maccabee is going to join us as our first speaker today. Let's clap for Maccabee. Yay!
Hello everyone, my name is Maccabee Weisbuck and I'm 13 years old. I am here today because I know what it's like to struggle in school when no one understands dyslexia. Before I knew I had dyslexia, I thought I just wasn't trying hard enough. I saw my classmates reading with ease while I struggled no matter how much effort I put in. Every day, I felt frustrated, embarrassed, and even ashamed. Without the right support, School wasn't just hard, it was painful. I started to doubt myself, and that took a toll on my confidence. But here's the truth. I wasn't broken. I just needed teachers and a school who understood my brain, how my brain worked. When I finally got real evidence-based teaching using the science of reading, everything changed. I learned that I can read, I can succeed, and I am smart. With the right tools, I became more confident, and now I actually enjoy learning. My education isn't just about struggling anymore, it's about growing. But here's the problem. Too many kids are still being left behind. In Minnesota, we need every teacher to understand what dyslexia looks and how to help students like me. If teachers know the science of reading, they can give kids like me a real chance. We need better training, better resources, and a system that doesn't let kids slip through the cracks. That's why I speak up so no other kid has to feel the way I did. And that's why we need change. Every child deserves to read, every teacher deserves the knowledge to help, and together we can make that happen.
Good morning, everyone. I get the pleasure of introducing some representatives and senators who are helping to champion reading for all. So, without further ado, we have Representative Clardy, Senator Grunhagen, and Representative Mueller, who will come up and say a few words.
Hello. I am so happy you're here. When I'm not here as a state representative, I'm a teacher. And I've been teaching elementary reading for a very, very long time. And one thing I learned is readers are what? Readers. One more time. Readers are what? Readers. I got that. So reading is really important, and sometimes it's a little scary when you can't figure out how to crack the code or how to figure out what's going on. And I've been a good reader most of my life, but then about a few years ago, I got hit over the head, and I had something happen to my brain. It's called a traumatic brain injury, and I had to learn how to read again. And it was hard, and it made me sad that I couldn't figure out what I was reading or what it meant. But I also knew that if I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do in life, I needed to read. So I practiced, and I used a lot of the strategies that you're learning in school right now. So one thing I want you to know is that everyone can read, and it's not your fault if you're having a hard time reading right now. One thing that we're doing here is we're making sure teachers get the tools. That means they get the stuff to learn how to teach you how to read. So if you are having maybe a tricky time reading right now, just know that you can, and just know that your best friend might be reading faster than you, or your best friend might be reading slower than you, and both are okay. Because readers are what? Readers. Right. And I know every one of you can do that, because like I said, I'm a teacher, and I believe in you. So thanks for coming here, and thanks for knowing how important our reading is. So come back again. This is your house. You can come visit anytime. Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. My name's Senator Glenn Grunhagen, District 17, which is southwest of the metro area. I've been a strong advocate of intensive systematic phonics, traditional grammar, and spelling for many, many years. I served on the school board, my local school board, for over 16 years, and there I advocated for it at a time where it was not very popular. It was more popular to promote whole language inventive spelling, and creative writing, which is simply grades effort, not accuracy, which is wrong. One of the reasons I got interested in this is prior to being on the school board, I did 13 years of jail ministry. I was not in jail, but I did jail ministry. They let me go. One of the things I noticed was how many prisoners could not read or could barely read. And that got me interested in this and ultimately led me to run for the school board. Remember, Whole Language, an excellent book on this subject and how we transfer to it in our schools, especially public schools, was written in the late 50s. Why Can't Johnny Read? You can still order that on the internet, I believe. So remember, Whole Language grades effort, not accuracy. It talks about memorization of words rather than sounding out of words. English is a sound syllable-based language. The other thing about Whole Language you need to understand, it's based on psycholinguistic. Now, why would you take the word psycho and put it with the word linguistic? Because it's a psychology-based approach to teaching reading, and it doesn't work. It causes problems. So keep up the fight. You can all learn to read up to grade level, and we're not doing a very good job, according to that sign over there, 50%, so we definitely need to improve. God bless you, and keep up the efforts. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Kiddos, I have not seen enough of your signs, so I need to see the signs. Where are the signs? And the flags, where are they? This right here in Minnesota House, this is what makes change happen. This is what makes change happen. You being here with your signs and your flags and your ability to speak and say, this is what I need, this is what makes change happen. My name is Representative Patricia Mueller, and for over 2 decades I've been in the classroom. I was elected in 2020 and have had the honor of serving Austin and the surrounding areas for the last 3 terms. But I'll tell you this, from the time I was elected to 2020 to now, you're the ones who have made the difference. You showing up is what has made change happen. Because you said the status quo isn't enough. You said 50% of our children can't read. We have to do something. It's time for change, and it starts today. And it started with you. It started with you joining with the millions of voices all over the country saying, status quo isn't enough. Status quo isn't good enough. We want it so that every child knows how to read, and we know it can happen. Thank you for being here. And let me tell you this. I know that you have worked for the last several years. You're standing on the shoulders of others, creating generational change. Generational change is what you're starting right now. And what I ask you to do now, kiddos, adults, teachers, administrators, change leaders right now here, don't let off the gas. Don't think that we're done, because we're not. It's time now to hold our teacher prep schools accountable, that they will start teaching our teachers in the science of reading so that everyone has a chance to learn under the science of reading. Don't be done. Don't be late. Don't think that just because we got this change that we're done. We're not done. It's time for now for you to continue to stay involved and for you to continue to hold us, our agencies, and our teacher prep schools accountable. Change doesn't happen without you. And kiddos, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing that this is the work that matters. This is the work that matters today. Thank you for being here. I ask, and I'm going to end with this because like Representative Clardy, I'm also teaching reading and have just such a passion for literacy. A quote that I saw as I was looking at some things yesterday was, literacy and justice for all. You learning how to read, that's going to open up all the possibilities for you. So until everyone knows how to read, we continue to use our voices, and we declare literacy and justice for all. God bless you.
At this time, if you have an appointment to go talk to Representative Mueller, there will be a group headed out. The white flag back there, if you want to follow the white flag, if you have an appointment with Representative Mueller. At this time, I'd like to introduce Representative Maria Perez Vega.
How's it going, everybody? Are you rocking at the Capitol today for reading? When I say we love, you say reading. We love. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. My name is Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega. I represent the District of 65B right here in this capital city of St. Paul and the city of West St. Paul. And you know what one of my favorite things to do is? That's right, reading. How many of you guys can read in different languages? How many of you guys speak a different language? Well, guess what? That's how I learned how to read. I learned how to read first in Spanish because I was raised by my grandmother, and my parents were both bilingual, but my grandmother only spoke Spanish. So en su casa leímos en español. Y en escuela leímos en inglés. Y ahora, and now, we can read in so many different languages, right? And if we can't, we should, and we shouldn't just stop at one language. We should stop and learn about everybody's languages. And you know how I also learned how to read? I'll tell you something else that I do outside of being a legislator. I'm a musician. How many of you guys love music? How many of you guys know that phonetics is connected to rhythm? Yeah? Yeah, can we say, I love to read. I love to read. I love to read. I love to read. That's how I learned how to read in both languages. And it's so amazing. And you know, I'm not going to stop learning how to read in just the languages that I know. How many of you guys are with me? I want to read in Oromo. I want to read in Hmong. I want to read in Somali. I want to read in Mandarin. I want to read in Karen. There's so many amazing languages that are spoken in the district that I represent. There's 140 different languages that are spoken in my school districts that I represent between St. Paul and West St. Paul. How many of you guys here want to learn how to read in 2 different languages or more? Let me hear you. That's why I am fighting so hard to make sure that not only our littlest to our oldest learners are getting the advancements in literacy that they need so that they can achieve their highest potential, but also want to give kudos to our educators and our teachers that are doing the best that they can to ensure that their classroom is not going back, but moving forward. So can I say, when we say we love, you say reading. We love? We love? Okay, before I leave, because you guys have been sitting down for a long time, yeah? Can we stand up really quick? So this is something that I used to teach in my after-school programming that I used to work with on making sure that kids could read the music sheets and kids could read the lyrics, because we all know that music is communication, right? And when you hear some beats, it makes you want to pick up a book, okay? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to do this. We love to read in Minnesota. We love to read in the best state of Minnesota. All right, Minnesota on 3. 1, 2, 3. Minnesota! You guys keep reading the books. You guys contact my offices. And if we need more work on it, we're doing this work together, right? And I assure you that me and my colleagues here at the state and the House of Representatives are working together to improve dual language immersion programming for our students and for our educators. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Savannah Joyce, and I'm a current sophomore at Eastridge High School here in Minnesota. I'm not going to sugarcoat my journey with dyslexia. Truthfully, it has been a hard and draining path to understand at such a young age. During elementary school, I had the drive for learning, but I began to struggle when it came to putting my thoughts into words. My school told us to not worry about learning disabilities until third grade. Well, third grade came around, and I was still struggling. My teachers taught one way. My mom would sit with me at the kitchen table and try to teach me in different ways than the school. We used flashcards, sandpaper letters, spelling words with letter beads. We tried everything. I spent many nights in my mom's arms thinking that I was stupid and broken. Finally, my parents decided to pay for a private evaluation which confirmed I have dyslexia. We naively thought that my diagnosis would prompt the school to respond and help. Instead, they said I wasn't far enough behind to qualify for help. I was falling through the cracks because I didn't meet the acceptable level of behind for struggling kids. Many people misunderstand dyslexia. Dyslexia is not just flipping around B's and D's. I felt as though letters were smushed together and the words were butterflies floating around the page. The less known part of dyslexia is the mental battle. I didn't understand why I couldn't learn as fast as my peers. My confidence plummeted. I quickly went from someone who loved going to school to someone who dreaded it. My parents knew they had to do something to help, so we found the tutor that uses the Barton method of teaching, which has been shown to help with those with dyslexia. It took time and was a big adjustment. I worked hard, and the beginning was especially difficult. As I progressed through the levels, I felt a difference. I learned that I was not alone. Not only was school becoming easier, but I was proud of my progress for the first time. I didn't feel broken. I didn't feel like there was something wrong with my ability to learn. I just needed to be taught in a way that works with my brain. I also started to appreciate and embrace the positive traits of dyslexia. The minds are creative, the ability to see things from a different angle, problem solving. I started to thrive in school and continue to this day. I'm in AP classes and honors. Dyslexia is more common than most people realize. It is a struggle that affects a child's whole person and emotional well-being, not just academics. Others don't have to go through what I did, though. If teachers were given the knowledge and tools to understand dyslexia, students would build confidence and gain the support they need without needing to fall far enough behind like I did. We are not alone. Thank you.
Hola, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Gorman, and I'm a retired special education teacher. I currently am an advocate and current president of the International Dyslexic Association, the Upper Midwest branch, which includes North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. But more importantly, I'm a grandmother of Chloe, who's 14 years old and who's a magnetic person. People are just attracted to her. She shines in her creativity. She's a creative, very good athlete, and she lights up every room that she walks into. But when it comes to school, Chloe faces defeat every time she walks in that door. She spent her early years, and I'm looking out here and seeing you kids, and it's bringing me back to when she first started to learn how to read in kindergarten and first and second and third grade. She was taught a method called balanced literacy at the time, a method that simply didn't work for her. She tried so hard, but her teachers couldn't figure her out. They called her a big word, called it enigma. That's not a bad thing. It means that they couldn't figure her out. None of the interventions provided for 2 years made a difference. It wasn't until we sought a private evaluation that we finally got the truth. Chloe had dyslexia. Then COVID hit. The critical years she needed to catch up were lost in chaos. And Chloe's not alone. When teachers don't understand dyslexia, students are misidentified, mislabeled, and misunderstood. Academically, they fall further and further behind, and emotionally, they internalize failure. Behaviorally, they could act out or they shut down. It's not because they can't learn, it's because the system has not been equipped to teach them or understand what it means for a child to have dyslexia. This is why full, faithful implementation of the READ Act is essential. And it's why we need the Dyslexia Professional Development Bill so that every Minnesota teacher gets at least 2 hours of training to understand what dyslexia really looks like and how to support students who learn differently. Because literacy isn't optional, it's the key to every subject, every opportunity, everyone's future. We're doing this because students like Chloe and all of you deserve a school system that sees their strengths, understands their struggles, and gives them an instruction that they need to thrive. This is our last chance for Chloe, and it's a last chance for many of you, for every student that's like her. Chloe deserves that future, and so do every single one of you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nora. I'm a 5th grader at Gleason Lake Elementary and I have dyslexia. The reason I am here today is because of great teachers, interventionists, and family, and I got the help I needed. My 2nd grade teacher, Miss Palmer, noticed that I was learning differently and I would take many breaks during reading. I felt embarrassed, scared, and jealous of the kids who could read, but I got help because my teacher, Miss Scott, my interventionist, who had special training to teach kids with dyslexia, taught me how to sound out words and eventually read. This is hard work, but it paid off. After 2 years, I was able to read like any other kid in my class. I felt like I could do anything. In conclusion, I think all kids should get the help they need, and I am here to help make it happen.
And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Representative Green.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Julie Green, and I represent Edina in Bloomington, District 50A, and I'm so excited to be here. Before I came here, I served on the Edina School Board for 4 years, so I got to work with a lot of kids, and it's really driven my passion for education. So I think that reading is a lot more than just a skill. It's really a door to wonder and curiosity. So I want to see from everyone in this room, kids and adults, does everyone here have a favorite book? Right. And I had a favorite book when I was growing up. It was called James and the Giant Peach. You guys know that book? By Roald Dahl. Right. And I remember when I was at the library in my school picking it out, the front cover was whimsical. It had a giant peach, and it really drew me in. And there was this little boy standing next to the peach. And at the time, I really needed somewhere for my mind to go. I was stressed out as a little kid for a while. And that was the first book that I read all the way through, and then I immediately went back to page 1, and I started it again. But beneath all that fantasy, there was a lesson that stuck with me, that courage and imagination can carry us way far beyond our hardships. James, in that book, begins the story lonely and mistreated, but through his journey and through friendship and curiosity, he finds family, he finds confidence, and he finds a new life. And we all know that literacy is foundational. It's the first step towards education, communication, independence, so many other really important things for us in our lives. But for our kids and for our adults, reading is even more than that. It's a way to explore worlds beyond our own. It builds empathy. We are able to then dream bigger than the circumstances we might have been born into even. And isn't that what reading offers all of us? It's a chance to imagine something better and to believe that we can reach it. So, In Minnesota, we've seen the promise and the challenge. My predecessor, Representative Heather Edelson, yep, she did amazing work. Let's give it up for Heather. Yep. She was really successful in shining a bright light on literacy and envisioning how we, as a state, can do better for our kids. And that investment needs to continue. So we just aren't imagining something better for our kids, but we've helped them reach it. And we're not going to stop until we do. Thank you for having me. And the kids here, you guys are well behaved than most of the adults in this building. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. As a former board member for Decoding Dyslexia, having been here 10 years ago and having a cozy little group that attended, I don't want to cry at the beginning of what I have to say, but I'm just so thrilled to look all around me and to see this passion and this support. Can I just get a bit of like, oh yeah! We can do it! We can do it! Yay! My name is Michelle Quickstead, and I want to tell you a little bit about my journey as a special education provider. I have 3 degrees in special education, and I learned very little about dyslexia. As an elected board member for our early childhood special education professional development team here at the state, I want to let you know that we're very dedicated to empowering teachers to learn the skills that they need, but we need your help. We're here for the littlest learners to learners for life. For nearly 20% of people who display signs of dyslexia, it's important to support our educators in learning the signs. So I'm here today to encourage all of you to wrap around our schools, wrap around our educators, wrap around the people that support our littlest to our oldest. And please join me in a call to action to support legislative bills that help pass the hours of professional development that are needed for families to feel like when they send their kids to school, they know that their kids will learn how to read and that all learners will be included in that education, that all learners, no matter what the language, no matter what the disability, have the science and the data behind it to learn to read. Reading for all. Let's hear it. Reading for all. I have the awesome privilege to welcome my son, Spencer. You are not a volunteer advocate. You are made one. And this is my son who made me an advocate.
Hello everyone, my name is Spencer, and I'm honored to be speaking at the Literacy Day rally. Sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Spencer, and I'm honored to be speaking at the Literacy Day rally. Before I was diagnosed with dyslexia, school felt like an endless struggle. I remember sitting in class staring at the same sentence while everybody in my same class had moved on. I started to think that something was wrong with me. It wasn't just frustrating, it was lonely. I began to feel anxious and embarrassed every time I was asked to read out loud or turn in writing assignments. Everything began to change because of my mom. She fought for me every step of the way and made sure that my voice was heard, pushing for answers, working with my teachers, and helping them understand what dyslexia really is. She made sure that I got the right support, and without her, I would not be here today. Her belief in me gave me the strength to believe in myself. Now I am thriving in school. One of the biggest ways I've grown is through the speech and debate program, which has helped me not only find my voice, but has also helped me develop close friendships with people that have my same interests. It's helped me express myself with confidence and realize that I have something valuable to say, even if I sometimes take a different path to get there. Minnesota can do better by making sure every teacher is trained to recognize the signs of dyslexia and knows how to help. A classroom teacher who recognizes and understands dyslexia can change a student's entire future because they'll see our potential instead of just our challenges. Thank you for letting me share my story.
And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Representative Bakeberg.
going to stand on this box that they have here because I'm not very tall. But I just want to say fantastic job to all the students. You guys are doing amazing. My name is Ben Bakeberg, and I have the privilege to represent the communities of Prior Lake, Jordan, Shakopee. Some Shakopee people are here today. And in my normal job, does anyone know what I do? I'm a middle school principal. Don't hold that against me, but in that job, I have seen really what all of these people have talked about. I have seen students take off and thrive because they are able to read, and I've seen students really struggle. And I got into education because I want to help kids. I love working with kids, and I love kids. That's why educators go into education, because they want to love and serve kids. And that's why the READ Act is so important, because it's training teachers to teach kids in the right way. There is bipartisan support for the READ Act. And I think it's important that you know that, because we don't always hear about the good work that has been done here. And across the political spectrum, there's support to help kids be able to read. Because we know this, just in common sense, we know this, that from birth to grades 3, kids learn how to read. And for the rest of a student's life, they read to learn. And it is foundational. I saw a sign earlier, and I don't know where the young man is, but it said, "Literacy is a tool, access for all is cool." Let's say that together. Literacy is a tool, access for all is cool. One more time. Literacy is a tool, access for all is cool. Thank you. Let's keep working together to support these kids and the kids that are at school right now across our great state. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sydney Nauman, and I'm currently a 6th grader. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was going into 4th grade. I primarily have auditory dyslexia, but also have visual dyslexia as well. Reading, spelling, and understanding verbal multi-step directions and memorizing math facts has been difficult for me since I started school. After years of tutoring with Kyra at the Reading Center, I now read and test at grade level. And my current math tutor has been so helpful with teaching me ways to recall my math facts and still enjoy math. I really believe teachers care about students. That's why they are teachers. The information and specialized tools to help students like me are out there, but they need the training and ongoing training in order to reach such a broad range of students in my class. My classmates are good people, and we want to make a difference in our world. I know that my parents had to pay over $1,000 just to have me evaluated at the Reading Center, and then several thousand more to provide me with tutoring. I also know that there are many students like me who can't afford the help I have received. What happens to my classmates who don't have the money to pay for an evaluation or the specially trained tutors to help them learn? They have to rely on coping skills like sitting in the back of the class or hoping they don't get called on. That was me in 4th grade. I have a voice, dreams, ideas, and ambition, and I'll tell you I wouldn't be here today talking to you without learning how to work with and around my dyslexia. This is why I feel that it is so important to fund disability support both inside and outside of schools, and to consider a free universal screener for all schools and elementary schools like the state of Colorado just did. Mandatory dyslexia training for teachers in Minnesota should just be the start. And I believe that if we help children now, we are helping them and us in the future. I believe that leaders are lifelong learners and leaders are readers.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, kids. I want to call y'all students. Good morning, students. Hello. Okay, so my name is Miss Myers. I am a proud special education teacher. I'm actually feeling a little fun mode. I'm missing my students right now, seeing all these adorable faces in the front. And I believe wholeheartedly in the unique abilities of my students and all the students in front of me. I believe in you. You know that? Every day, I witness courage, I witness resilience, I witness what it means to rise. My students, well, they know the weight of struggle. Many of them have been told what they can't do. Let's go, boo to that, boo. But despite their obstacles, they show up with focus and determination. They proudly acknowledge their dyslexia with no shame and a sense of self-awareness. And the bravest thing I've seen, they lift their voices to not only read sounds, words, full sentences aloud, not just for me, a grade teacher, but not just for a grade. They do it for the joy of reading, the power of being heard. I want every one of my students, past, present, and future, to know that you inspire me. All of you, you inspire me. You inspire me to teach lessons that include every learner. You inspire me to work hand in hand with teachers across subjects. You inspire me to never stop learning for myself, learning literacy development and learning about dyslexia and how to teach dyslexia students. Because you're worth every effort, every ounce of effort, and every moment of advocacy, and every fight for access. I stand here not just as a teacher, I stand here as an advocate for every child who has ever felt like the words on a page was a locked door. I'm a part of a movement. At Decoding Dyslexia, we believe in the power of we. Together we raise awareness, we empower families, and we fight for resources our students with dyslexia deserve in Minnesota schools. So today, I want us all of us, even the people up there at the top, because I know y'all up there, to lift our voices in what, we like to call a call and response in school. So I'm gonna say today a reader, and y'all are gonna say tomorrow a leader. Y'all got that? Y'all got it? All right, so today a reader. Today a reader. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
I know, right? So good morning, everybody. My name is Kulia Pringle, and I am one of the co-chairs of the Minnesota Literacy Coalition. If you are interested in getting some information about us, check out our back table. At the coalition, our mission is to ensure every child has access to opportunity to be literate. So I stand here today on Literacy Day with a message rooted in urgency and love for our children. In Minnesota, only 17% of Black children are reading at grade level. Let that sink in. While adults are still shifting, negotiating, and debating, our children are waiting for the system to work for them, waiting for the supports they deserve. That's why I urge you to continue to support the READ Act, because literacy is liberation. But passing legislation is only the beginning. We must make sure implementation includes support for families, because families are a child's first teachers. Without accessible tools, training, and transparent communication, we risk leaving families out of the solution. We also need to make sure our kids have access to culture and their own culture as well as others. We also need to make sure our kids have access to out-of-school time supports. Those organizations who are providing homework help and tutoring also need to provide resources and knowledge around the science of reading. Our children can't wait. Their future depends on what we do right now. Let's ensure every child in Minnesota, not just some, can read, thrive, and lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Kulia. And my name is Kimberly Carlson, and I am the president of the Board of Decoding Dyslexia. And I have two children who didn't learn to read the same way that everybody else did. They learn a little differently. So I want to thank you for coming today, and I want to thank all of you who have supported us and been here for the last over 10 years, but this is our 10th rally. So thank you for everyone for coming, and thank you to GMS, the Great Minnesota Schools, for partnering with us. And thank you for the Minnesota Literacy Clinic, or Coalition, and Decoding Dyslexia, and all the board members that helped put this on. If you guys could raise your hands if you were part of it. Raise your hand. Thank you. And I just want to say I'm finishing up. This is my last year on the board, and it has been a pleasure and an honor to be able to empower families and students to make sure they're in a learning environment that leads them to have a great education. These rallies have been a wonderful way for kids to see that they're not alone. We're all in this together, and we're here to help. Because today a reader, tomorrow a leader. So before you all go, we're going to wrap it up here, but we have a couple housekeeping things. If you had scheduled an appointment with us to go speak to a legislator, we have some people with white flags that they will take you to those legislators, and you can meet by the stairs over there. And also, we have Kia here, who is our Partners for Parents manager, and she is in the back corner right there, and she has 504 and IEP binders if you were interested in grabbing one. They're both in English and Spanish, and additional resources. So do you have any more? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Kulia, for speaking with me, and you are all free to do whatever the rest of your afternoon takes you. So thank you, guys.